While the immediate result was a suppression of the radical movement, the long-term effect was to keep alive the class anger of many, to inspire others, especially young people of that generation, to action in revolutionary causes. 60,000 signed petitions to the new governor of Illinois, John Peter Altgeld, who investigated the facts, denounced what had happened, and pardoned the 3 remaining prisoners. Year after year, all over the country, memorial meetings for the Haymarket martyrs were held. It is impossible to know the number of individuals whose political awakening, as with Emma Goldman and Alexander Berkman, long-time revolutionary stalwarts of the next generation, came from the Haymarket Affair. I had never heard of the Haymarket Affair, the Haymarket Massacre. Never. After Haymarket, class conflict and violence continued with strikes, lockouts, blacklisting, the use of Pinkerton detectives and the police to break strikes with force, and courts to break them by law. During a strike of streetcar conductors on the 3rd Avenue line in New York a month after the Haymarket Affair, police charged a crowd of thousands using their clubs indiscriminately. The New York Sun reported men with broken scalps were crawling off in all directions. It seemed that the weight of Haymarket had not crushed the labor movement. The year 1886 became known to contemporaries as the year of the Great Uprising of Labor. From 1881 to 1885, strikes had averaged about 500 per year, involving perhaps 150,000 workers each year. In 1886, there were over 1,400 strikes involving 500,000 workers. John Commons, in his History of the Labor Movement in the United States, saw in that the signs of a great movement by the class of unskilled, which had finally risen in rebellion. The movement bore in every way the aspect of a social war. A frenzied hatred of labor for capital was shown in every important strike. Extreme bitterness toward capital manifested itself in all actions of the Knights of Labor, and wherever the leaders undertook to hold it within bounds, they were generally discarded by their followers. Even among Southern blacks, where all the military, political, and economic force of the Southern states, which, with the acquiescence of the national government, was concentrated on keeping them docile and working, there were sporadic rebellions. In the cotton fields, blacks were dispersed in their work, but in the sugar fields, work was done in gangs, so there was opportunity for organized action. In 1880, they had struck to get $1 a day instead of 75 cents, threatening to leave the state. Strikers were arrested and jailed, but they walked the roads along the sugar fields carrying banners, $1 a day or Kansas. They were arrested again and again for trespassing, and the strike was broken. However, by 1886, the Knights of Labor was organizing in the sugar fields in the peak year of the Knights' influence. The black workers, unable to feed and clothe their families on their wages, often paid in store scrip, asked $1 a day once more. The following year, in the fall, close to 10,000 sugar laborers went on strike, 90% of them Negroes and members of the Knights. The militia arrived and gun battles began. So literally, the government, instead of listening to the people that labor to make companies money, instead of listening to them, they're asking for 25 cents more, 75 cents to $1. And instead of giving them what they're asking for, which quite frankly would be nothing compared to the profits that are still being made by these companies, they would rather call the militia, they'd rather call the police and have them gunned down. How does that make sense? Just give the people what they're asking for. You're still getting a ton of money that quite frankly belongs to them. They're the ones that are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into producing, into growing, into making the money for you. They're only asking for 25 cents more. But instead of doing that, you'd rather have them shot. It's beyond me. It's beyond me, the psychology of the elite. I don't get it. I don't get it. To me, it is so clear. If I was the elite and these people were asking for 25 cents a day more, I would be so aware of the fact that that's all they're asking for. Give them what they're asking for. I can't believe it, but I'm not surprised.